Production support for the Friday Zone is provided by Smithville, a locally owned business serving central and southern Indiana since 1922, with residential and business internet, voice, and security services. Smithville, local pride, global technology. Information at smithville.net. The Margaret A. Cargill Foundation, and WTIU members. Thank you.
Saddle up, we're taking a ride through the wonderful world of horses.
Stick around as we learn about horse racing, horse shows, and even horse therapy.
You're not alone. You're in the zone. So hang up the phone and get in the zone. Get in the zone. The Friday Zone. You're in the zone. The Friday Zone. Everyone is invited to come. Everyone is invited to come. Everyone is invited. Get in the zone. Everyone is the Friday Zone.
Hi everybody, and welcome back to the Friday Zone. Today in the Zone, we're going to saddle up and take a look at one of my favorite animals, the horse. Hey Taylor, I bet you didn't know that there's over 350 breeds of ponies and horses.
I did not know that, Emily.
Well, I bet you also didn't know that the horse is a member of the Equus family, which is a Greek word that means quickness.
I didn't know that either, but it makes perfect sense.
Yeah, it does. Well, I bet you also don't know what the best 2 minutes of sports are.
Of course I do.
The Kentucky Derby. Well, we saw just how quick the horses really are when the Friday Zone field crew traveled to the Kentucky Derby Museum in Louisville, Kentucky to take a closer look at the traditions and culture that surround the best 2 minutes in sports in our first Zone investigation.
We were off to the Kentucky Derby Museum at Churchill Downs in Louisville, Kentucky. Churchill Downs hosts what is known as the best 2 minutes of racing, or the Kentucky Derby, and nestled in the northeast corner of the Downs is the museum that houses artifacts and memories from Derby's past. We met up with Wendy Trinan, Director of Communications in the museum, to learn more.
We're actually celebrating our 25th year anniversary this year at the track. The Derby itself is 136, soon to be 137 years old. It started in 1875, so Churchill Downs has a very long history, and the Derby Museum has now recently become part of that history. But we're separate from Churchill Downs. We're a nonprofit museum and hope to share the fun of the Derby experience every day of the year.
The first moment you step into the museum, you get a taste of what it's like to be a rider in the starting gate. You step through the gates and hear the thunderous noise of the horse's hooves on the big screen. And that's just a taste of the interactive technology you will encounter at the museum.
Well, we just completed a huge renovation project in 2010, and our emphasis was on sharing the fun of the Kentucky Derby experience, and that means making it fun for kids of all ages. We have lots of new interactive technology, lots of Wii game kind of styles where you can actually play, see, and do. So we have some touchscreen games that take you 30 minutes before the race. What is everybody doing on the track? And you get to hear them talk about the experience leading up to the big moments.
And just in case you were curious about what goes on behind the scenes of the track on the first Saturday in May, you can see for yourself in the 360-degree theater.
And we have a 360-degree feature film, so there's a movie that is all around your head and it's shaped like the track. It takes you from dawn to dusk on Derby Day.
But what is Derby without fashion?
The Kentucky Derby is so much more than a 2-minute horse race. It's also fashion, flavors, fun, and great rich traditions. So one of the things that we showcase are, of course, hats, because you can't talk Derby without talking hats. And we have about 30 hats on display that rotates every year to showcase some of the fun hats and chapeaus from the different places along the track.
Within the museum walls, you are encouraged to touch and experience all things horse racing, and the Kentucky Derby Museum is not short on things to do. After you race your friends in the Wii Technology horse race, you can try your skills at calling a Kentucky Derby race. But you better loosen up those tongues because it's anything but easy. And if you think you have what it takes to weigh in as a jockey, you can head to the locker room to suit up.
Well, we try to give kids a hands-on experience, and one of those things that we offer is to try on the jockey silks. So we want you to put on the hat and the silks and the goggles and step up on the scale and see how you measure up, and then climb on the back of a horse in the starting gate and see what you would look like as a jockey.
With a crowd estimated at 150,000, as well as riders, owners, trainers, and media, there are a number of different perspectives, emotions, and attitudes towards the Derby and horse racing. And grades K through 12 schools within the Louisville area were asked to express these perspectives in the form of art.
Each year we do a showcase of student art in the community. So we ask kids how they interpret the Kentucky Derby, and we want them to share through their eyes what the Derby experience is all about.
And through their eyes, you got a colorful array of hats, clothing, track perspectives, abstract horses, roses, the winner circle, and Derby memorabilia. And there is no better place to see the Derby memorabilia than the Kentucky Derby Museum. As you walk through the exhibits, you see artifacts such as jockey silks, trophies, wardrobes, and other collectibles.
We have an extensive collection of Derby artifacts. Many of them are one-of-a-kind pieces because most people only win the Derby once, and if you're lucky enough to get into that winner's circle, you may have one bridle that was on the horse, you have one saddle, one pair of jockey's boots, and we are lucky enough to have several of those in our collection. Many of the winners of the Kentucky Derby donate those pieces to us when they're done showcasing them with their own families. So we get those donations, and we also look for them around town, and we let people know that we would be very glad to showcase their favorite memories here of the Kentucky Derby.
It is at the Kentucky Derby Museum where you can get a taste of all things horse racing. And it doesn't just stop at the gallery.
We want kids and families just to have a great time with us. From the tours that we offer of this historic location, you can go back on the backside and see the horses in their stalls. You can watch the morning workouts. You can go to some of the VIP areas in the clubhouse at Churchill Downs. And the museum itself, we want you to touch things. This is a different kind of museum where we don't ask you to put your hands in your pocket and put your cameras away. We want you to touch them. We want you to listen to things. We want you to play with stuff. So we want everyone to have a great time and really remember that the Derby is something to be shared by all.
So Friday Zone viewers, if you want to experience the greatest 2 minutes of sports for yourself, or just get a feel for the rich traditions of horse racing, then Wendy invites you to check out the Kentucky Derby Museum for yourself.
Visit our website at derbymuseum.org for more information on how you can visit. You'll get tour times, information, and admission prices all in that one place.
While the Kentucky Derby Museum teaches you about the care and hard work it takes to get a horse ready for the Kentucky Derby, we have joining us in Studio 6, Amaray and Mia, two friends of the Friday Zone. They're going to show us how all of this hard work, dedication, and tools you need to show horses and such things like fairs and contests.
And Mary and Mia, we're so glad that you guys are here today. Now, Taylor, that accent's pretty crazy.
I know.
But it leads us into our first question. I think you guys are dressed a little bit differently, and clearly you ride horses that are different. So why don't you tell us about the style in which you ride?
I ride Western, and it's where you just sit on a horse and you get them ready by riding them every week and all that kind of stuff.
So the way that you sit on, what is this called actually? Is this a saddle, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Saddle.
you ride Western and you ride
English.
English. Okay. So do you guys sit on the saddle differently?
Yes.
All right.
I post.
You post.
And what's that?
I go up and down when I'm riding,
Okay.
and she just sits there.
So yours is a little more relaxed riding, and you have to have a position that you actually stay and maintain.
Exactly.
So do you have to practice like a couple times a week?
Yeah.
Yeah? How often do you guys practice?
What do you mean?
Well, how often do you get to ride the horse? Like, is that only the kind of practice you have to do, or can you do it without your horse?
Well, you can do it without your horse too.
Oh, really? So what kind of things do you do in a typical practice?
You just basically, there's like a pole with strings on it.
And what's that called? Like it helps it go around, right?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Cool.
So now do you do the same thing as her since you ride differently?
Sometimes, but other times I don't. It depends on what I'm doing. If I'm showing, it's like completely different. And if we're not showing, sometimes it is.
All right.
So how long does it take to get these horses ready? How much time do you put in each day to get your horse all cleaned up and ready to go, and then with actually riding the horse and all that stuff?
I would say 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours.
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
Maybe 4.
Okay.
Every single day?
Yeah.
All
And,
right.
and I'm wondering right now, because I notice you're Western, you're English. Is there, I love your hat and your outfit, and then yours is very different. You're very English looking. So is that what you have to wear when you present these?
Oh yeah.
Is it strict? You can't break that?
Sometimes there's little glitches you can put in, but not that many.
Not that many. Well, I don't know. Like the Western looks a little fun, but yours looks very proper. I like it too. So what happens at a show when you show your horse? Tell me about a typical show.
Well, you ride your horse until your class, and you have a bunch of different people in your class.
Okay.
So you try to can't really explain it that well because it's just a habit.
So it's like you're used to it. It's like your routine that you know.
Yeah.
So is yours kind of the same way? It's hard to describe, you think?
Yeah.
All right, well then how about we talk about your saddles? Because I think that they look pretty different, and I'm sure you guys can explain it better. Would getting on them help?
Yeah.
Explain?
You guys want to get on real quick and show us how you do all
Yeah,
this?
I'll help you if you want.
All right. So explain the West, because the Western one is very different from the English one. And so what are all these different pieces up here up front that you have on?
Well, this is a show halter.
Okay.
You put it on your horse when you don't have a saddle when you use this, but you do use this, and you have a chain, and you walk your horse around. You do different patterns and all kinds of things.
Okay. Just like get them warmed up. So like if I was running a race for myself and I wasn't a horse, I have to get my muscles warm. So is that what you do with your horse in that?
This is actually you show in this.
Oh, okay.
okay.
All right.
And,
Yeah, Taylor, you could wear this.
Oh,
You
yeah.
look great. It's kind of heavy.
It is kind of.
Yeah.
Wow.
Horses have really strong
Now,
neck
you,
muscles.
Imre, for writing English, is this what your horse wears? Where is it? Right here?
Yes.
That one's not quite as heavy.
No. It's a bridle.
Okay. Oh, a bridle. I think I've heard of that. Seems like you guys have a different vocabulary. You guys
Yeah.
are really comfortable with it. We're not.
Yeah.
Clearly, we don't ride horses, but okay. So how about what you guys are sitting on? Imre, you can go first. You're writing English, right? Okay, so tell us about this.
Whoa.
Ooh, I gotcha. That's how you get off. All right.
Yeah. This is the panel,
Okay.
the seat.
Okay.
These are the leathers, and this is the iron.
Oh, all right. So your feet obviously have to go in both of those to be properly set, all right? What about you?
Well, mine's a little different, but not that much.
Okay.
This is the seat. This is the horn, and these are the stirrups that
Oh,
you
for your
put
feet.
in.
Cool.
So now do you hold on to this when you ride?
No.
You don't?
No, you put your hand to the side and you keep this out in front of the horn, because when you use your bridle, you have to go like this to turn.
Is it kind of how you direct them to go?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, it sounds kind of challenging. So girls, tell me what your favorite part about riding is.
I like just riding. I just like it.
Okay. So the activity, and what about you?
I like hanging out with my horse because he's funny. He
He's
looks
like your
things.
pal?
Has like a personality and stuff. That's great. That's fantastic.
All right, girls. Well, as you can see, showing horses can be done as a hobby, but with the right amount of hard work and dedication, you can take a hobby like showing horses and turn it into a career. The Friday Zone field crew met up with some young women at St. Mary-Of-The-Wods College Equestrian Program to see how their love of horses is helping them train young stallions and also prep them for a career in equine profession in this Friday Zone investigation.
We have about 90 students in the equine program itself, and for a college that only has about 350 students, you can see the impact of the equine program.
When I got my first horse when I was 10, came to St. Mary-of-the-Woods because they were one of the few schools that had an equine program.
I'm here because the program's awesome. I learned a lot coming into the college. I didn't know a lot about horses, I just knew the basics. But I've learned how to deal with horses, how to handle different situations with them, and how to, like this.
A lot of them come in wanting to be trainers or instructors. Others just simply want to study the equine science aspect so that maybe they can do research and those sorts of things. And then we also have a business aspect so that maybe they don't want to actually be the hands-on part of the horse industry, but they would like to manage a barn or run a facility that has equine activities at it.
I didn't know we were gonna deal with Mustangs. And so when I heard about that, I was excited, but I was nervous because I've never trained a horse. Hey.
When we go to pick them up, especially at the Ewing facility, there was 280 some odd Mustangs there, and we had to, try to choose the ones that we felt the students could work with. We had just learned about the hard times that they have in adopting these Mustangs out once they're brought into captivity, and we have a training and handling class that basically works with yearlings and 2-year-olds that have never been halter broke or anything.
I mean, just working with them daily and anytime you can get with them, it's just that bond that you have with a horse that you can't get from another person or from anything else. And it's, once you have it, it's strong and you don't want to let go. It's going to be a sad day when they go. I'm going to want to adopt one.
The main difference between the domesticated and the wild horse is their instincts. The wild horse has to live off those instincts. A domesticated horse knows that everything they need is provided by us. Most people can't believe that you can actually make a living or have a job in something that you feel so deeply for. It's not a career that you're going to get rich at, so you really do have to love it and have that passion for it.
Amaray and Mia decided to stick around and help give us a hand as we teach you at home how to make a fun friend. We are going to be making Pete Pot horses.
All right, so let's get started. We have some simple things really quick for you guys at home. We have some brown, different shades of construction paper. We have some, what is this, yarn, googly eyes, and glue. You can we're using hot glue today, but you can use glue, so let's go.
And make sure if you use a hot glue gun at home, you have parent permission or adult supervision.
Always on top
They
of it,
get
Taylor.
hot.
All right, girls. So I'm gonna take my pea pots.
Okay.
We have some demonstrations done already. This is Mr. Horse, and this is Mrs. Horse. I think I'm gonna stick with the girl thing, so
I think I'll make mine a boy.
I'm gonna get eyes
so
first.
Let's see. Do you want to put your head on first?
Pass me some 2 eyes. Do you guys think that these look like the horses you ride, or they look a little friendly?
Look a little friendlier on
Aw.
there.
And see, I like how this one's sitting, but I think
me just stick
I'm
it
gonna switch
wherever
mine
you
up.
want that on there.
And I wanna do mine, how did I do this? Oh, like
let's
that.
see.
Don't you think that'll look kinda cool?
That one
All right, let's see if it works first.
Will it be able to stand up though?
I hope so. Good question. And if you need help gluing, I can glue yours too.
Does yours stay on there?
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay.
All right, what are you guys thinking about making down there? Are you guys gonna make guy or girl horses?
I'm making a guy horse.
I'm making a girl.
All right, so I have to ask, since you guys are the professionals here and we're not, is there a different name for a horse for a guy and a girl?
Yes, there is.
What is it?
I'm gonna say the girl, and
You
it's
gluing
mare.
yours?
Okay, it's called a what?
Mare.
A mayor, like the mayor and governor?
Yeah, sort
Like
of.
John Mayer? Is that what it is? I'm just kidding.
Mare.
And so what's a
Mare.
guy horse called?
Okay, here you go.
A
A
gilding.
man. A gilding? I've never heard of that.
So you guys have, I feel like you guys have a lot of terms that we don't know about. So what are some other terms that like we might not know that you guys use when you're with your horses
Your
and
own
stuff?
vocabulary. You guys have
Well,
used a lot of words. All right, there you go.
Loping means like running.
What is it?
You got some eyes.
Loping means
Loping?
running.
Okay, so if I was to go loping later today, I would be going for a run.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it very fast?
It could be faster. The fastest is a gallop, which is running like they do in the Kentucky Derby.
Okay, the fastest 2 minutes, the best 2 minutes of sports. Okay, so like human terms, I would sprint, called a gallop. Just making sure I got this right.
Yeah.
So like a run, not that hard, would be, what is it again? A lope?
Loping.
Lope. So what's like halfway in between walking and just running? Here you go.
Oh,
You guys are the teachers today.
jogging.
Okay.
Jogging.
Yeah.
All right. So now is it different? Do you have different terms riding Western than she does since she rides English?
Yes, I have lope, jog, and walk.
So which one do you use most frequently?
I would say jog. Well, all of them.
All of them. You're right. All right. Do you want some hair? I
color
have a
these
little too
brown,
much.
too.
Sure. Okay.
How's your guys' coming down there?
Pretty good. I
We're
already
about
got
the same step.
my googly eyes on, and we're making our feet right now. So we talked about some of your best memories earlier. What are some of like the what's like a bad moment you had with your horses?
Maybe a scary moment?
Yeah.
Well, I was lunging my horse at 4-H, and he started bucking and running, and he drug me across the arena, like half of it, some of that.
You did? What?
Yeah, but luckily my friend was there, and she lunged him for me.
Well, that's good.
Oh my goodness. See, now as lunging, I think of like an exercise. Is it different in horse?
Yeah. No, it's an exercise for horses, just not you.
Yeah. I hope not. See, now I've ridden a horse before, and my horse was not, he didn't listen to me. Does it take some time to get your horse used to you, maybe?
Yeah, you have to show him who's boss sometimes.
I rode a horse, I think I was 6 years old, and I rode a horse. My mom and I went out to Brown County, and we just rode like a horse. It was like a trail. It was very slow. It was very boring, and I thought it was cool, but it was boring.
What happened? You think you had a guy horse or a girl horse?
I'm pretty sure I had a guy horse.
Now, which one's easier to ride? Wouldn't it be a girl horse? Because I think I'm pretty nice. They probably are nicer.
Actually, it's the opposite way. The boys are easy to ride.
What?
The girls are not.
That's kind of surprising, I guess.
The girls act like they're the boss and they take over all kinds.
Yep, see?
Oh, so the girls are the controlling ones?
Guy horses are better.
All right,
Okay.
well, right now I am actually cutting for my feet. What are you guys doing? You guys already have your feet on?
We've already got our feet on. We're just chugging along. I'm gonna put the hair on now. And I need a hair tie thing.
Cutting these is a little difficult.
Will you help me?
Yeah. I'll put little
right.
spots right
Oh
here.
yeah. And make sure a little trick for at home. We have, what are these called? Pipe cleaners. Pipe cleaners. To tie on our hair that we're gonna end up giving it bangs for,
So
like
we'll
you
do it
see
like
here.
this.
But see in the back, it's like the pipe cleaner is its own hair tie. So I think that's what I'm gonna do, and you can have it if you would like it.
I'm making my horse have nails.
Ooh, do you want to make nails for me?
Sure.
I'll make your hair if you make my toenails look pretty. I kind of want them pink.
Okay.
No, you guys
you go.
don't paint real horses' hooves, do you?
No.
I didn't think.
Like some people do who
Really?
want to dress up their horses.
Do people dress up their horses a lot and stuff?
No. I've seen it on TV, and like they painted it gold and stuff. It's
Really?
really funny.
Now, do you
That's
guys
pretty
have
silly.
rules that you have to like abide by during your show? Or can you guys just get to all look the same?
Well, you have to all look the same, but the shirts, like my shirts can be different, but
I
hers,
saw that.
yeah.
With the sparklies, it was pretty. Well, while we sit here and finish our horse craft for the day, we have seen how we can train horses to race, show, jump, and even domesticate them. So now we're going to take a look at how horses can train us. The Friday Zone field crew traveled to PALS, or People and Animal Learning Services, to see how horses can help children and adults with disabilities in this zone investigation.
In this Friday Zone investigation, we decided to stop horsing around for a bit and meet some people and horses that truly make a difference in so many lives. We met with Fern Bonchak, the executive director of PALS, to learn more about how horses help children and adults with disabilities.
PALS is a nonprofit equine assisted activities program in Bloomington, Indiana. We provide therapeutic horseback riding services to children and adults with disabilities and at-risk youth aged 4 and up.
We learned that sometimes when people have disabilities, it's really hard for those individuals to find meaningful activities to participate and succeed in. PALS is special, especially for kids, because it provides an activity that they are able to achieve success in and be proud of themselves for. Fern told us about even more benefits that the horses can have.
A lot of it depends on their individual disability and kind of what they're working on, but therapeutic riding in general is very beneficial as an activity that builds trunk muscles and increases balance.
We love all types of horses here in the Friday Zone, but it takes very special horses to be such incredible helpers at PALS. Not only are they specifically trained, but they also have been donated by people who just want to help out.
We have 11 horses right now. They've all been donated, and they go through about a 3-month training process prior to becoming a therapy horse. And we put them through all the paces of anything that they could possibly encounter during a lesson, so we know how they're going to react in every specific situation.
But it's not just the horses that have a positive impact. The instructors also play an important role in the PALS therapy.
The instructors are all trained through a national organization called NARA, and they're all certified through NARA, and they have extensive experience working with people with disabilities and horses, and so they're able to match up the proper horses to the proper riders to achieve whatever specific effect that they want to achieve in the lesson.
The Friday Zone crew was lucky enough to meet Aiden and follow him during one of his life-changing therapy sessions with pals. While Aiden got to have a blast with his new friend Eeyore, his mom let us know more about Aiden and what PALS has done for him.
Well, Aiden has a diagnosis of sensory integration disorder. And he also shows many of the characteristics of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And so basically what this allows him to do is to focus for a half an hour just on one thing that he just absolutely loves. It helps with his muscle tone, it helps with his attention span. It's just really the best half hour of his week.
As we watch Aiden's lesson, his mom fills us in on the specific things that he's able to work on.
When he is on that horse, he is listening, he is attentive, he immediately does everything that his instructor asks him to do without flinching, and it's just amazing for me to watch that. And so what I say is that when he flashes me a smile from on top of his horse, he's not really just sitting on top of a saddle, he's really on top of the world.
Not just Aiden, but his family as well benefits from the work of PALS.
It really is true. I mean, every time I see him up there, it just gives me goosebumps. It's really wonderful to watch the change in him, even just from the waiting area at PALS, where he's really excited and usually kicking up dust or making dirt angels in the dirt. And then the minute he gets on that horse, he's a different kid. If you know someone, a friend or a family member who might benefit from therapeutic riding, I would just highly recommend the PALS program.
So Friday Zone viewers, even if you don't have a disability, you can get in touch with PALS to see how you and your family can help.
Our website is palstherapy.org. We always welcome people to stop out and see the riders in action.
That's all the time we have for today. I hope you guys had fun horsing around with us today in the Friday Zone.
I want to thank Mary and Mia for joining us in the zone today and teaching us all about showing horses and the vocabulary you guys get to use. You had fun.
Don't forget to send us your show ideas, questions, or comments at fridayzone.org. You can also download your favorite episodes of the Friday Zone on iTunes for free.
All right, well, remember to live, learn, and play the Friday Zone way. Taylor and I hope to see you here again next week. Bye-bye. Bye.
Production support for the Friday Zone is provided by Smithville, a locally owned business serving central and southern Indiana since 1922, with residential and business internet, voice, and security services. Smithville, local pride, global technology. Information at smithville.net. The Margaret A. Cargill Foundation. And WTIU members. Thank you.